Hello, I'm Jake, and today I'm going to talk about what it means to do what you love. This video is for those who may have lost motivation for something that they used to love, or for those who are trying to figure out what they'd like to do with their life. Alright, so you may have been told at some point in your life that you can do whatever you want. This was something I heard a lot growing up, but I never thought past the surface level. This was until I started losing interest in the thing that I love to do. So what exactly does it mean to do what you want? You may think that this thing is your hobby or a passion that you have or something that you're already comfortable doing. Maybe this is an activity you've been doing since you were very young, like cooking or working on your car or some sort of artistic craft you learned in school. This activity finally becomes part of your identity. And it is not just an activity you do anymore, but an adjective people use to describe you. Finally, after investing even more time, you get more opportunities because of your skill set. And these opportunities and responsibilities of your skill set and an identity aren't as enjoyable as they used to be. Maybe after cooking with your family for your whole life, you go off to culinary arts school, and after your first semester, you realize that you hate it. Or you realize that after working on your car your entire life with your dad, you become a mechanic and realize that it is not something you want to do. The problem with this is when a skill becomes part of your identity, it's easy to forget that you have a choice to stop doing it. And maybe you're making yourself miserable by doing this thing that you think you like to do because you have these emotional attachments to it, or you have these memories and you've put yourself in a corner and convince yourself like you like to do it. And you, not to mention the risk you face of letting go of this thing you've been doing and remembering all the resources you've invested, like your time and your money, and feeling as if those things went to waste. So, deconstruct what you think that you want to do. Ask yourself, what's part of this activity made you fall in love with it in the first place? And is this thing that you identify with something that you actually like to do? You can pay attention to your actions, and they will reflect if the identity you have is accurate. If you think you love something, like playing music, but you don't like performing concerts and you don't like practicing, then you need to reassess your actions because you don't love to do that. If you think you love to play a sport, but you don't love to go out and practice throws or go to games or even watch it on TV, then you need to reassess your actions because you are wrong about yourself. So, what if you are losing passion or interest in something that you don't want to give up? For whatever reason, maybe you are just connected to it, or the things you like about it are too good to give up. So, here's what you need to do. Deconstruct it and figure out what brought you to it to begin with. This will allow you to realize the parts of it that you love, and in result, you can maximize these parts in the rest of your life. You can also use these parts to make the parts you don't like more worthwhile. So maybe you really liked to play music with other people. You like the social collaboration, you like the sharing of sound, all that stuff, but you don't like to practice. In order to make that practice time worthwhile, maximize your social time. Maybe you find out after deconstructing that you like sports because you like being outside. Maximize your time outside with your sport. Maybe you practice outside rather than in a gym. And also bring in your love for the outdoors into the rest of your life. This will not only better you, but the people around you, because you can share your love with those people around you. And we often admire the qualities of those people who display love and mastery of a skill in their life. Think of the high school kid that practices guitar all day long, but flunks out of school because he was practicing guitar and not doing his homework, only to become a rock star. That worked for the kid because he was so obsessed with music that there was no other option for him. No backup plan would have been enough to replace guitar in his life. Find that thing for you. And ask yourself, what specific things do you love about your interests? What will you sacrifice to live the life you want? And are you living up to a false identity? When you have an answer to this question, you might not know how it can carry over into a long-term career. You may be in a position where you don't know how to take whatever you love to the professional world. Take time to use your skills in ways that don't appear to line up with your end goals. If you're a classical musician that's losing interest in playing classical music, but you still want to do it professionally, don't ignore these interests you have on the side too. If you have an interest to write a commercial jingle on the side, and for whatever reason it doesn't line up in your long-term goals, do it anyway. You might discover new things about why you fell in love with classical music. Maybe the catchiness of a commercial jingle is the same thing that drew you to classical music, the catchy melodies. And lastly, for those who know what they love but are afraid to integrate it into their life, do it anyway. It's better to try and fail than to never try at all. I'd like to invite you to like this video and subscribe, share it with your friends, and follow me on Instagram at Bases in Weird Places, or go to my website, jakemchugh.com. And now for something that I love to do.
Do what you love, do what you love, do what you love, do what you love.